I'm Faye Watt, and let's queer up trans rights. University of Washington murder suspect of a trans student surrenders. 19-year-old Juniper Blessing was found dead on May 10th inside a laundry room at Nordheim Court, a privately managed student housing complex affiliated with the university. Authorities say Blessing was stabbed more than 40 times. Court documents say surveillance footage shows a man disconnecting the laundry room camera before the attack. Seattle police released images of a suspect, and on May 13th, 31-year-old Christopher Michael Leahy turned himself in. A judge found probable cause for first-degree murder with a deadly weapon. Leahy is being held on $10 million bail. As the investigation continues, LGBTQ+ organizations are planning a private campus vigil in Blessing's memory. Seattle Council member Alexis Mercedes Rink called the killing devastating, adding that Seattle, quote, must serve as a refuge for our trans neighbors who are fleeing regions trying to erase their existence, end quote. 40 stab wounds. You know, that's not violence. That's hate with a body count right there. Trans people deserve more than thoughts and prayers, folks, and hashtags after the fact. Protect trans lives while they're still living. Period. Yeah. Period. Find out who did this. 40 times? That's just, I mean, and one time, it's a horrible story all around.
Well, it is a horrible story. The light that I'm sort of taking away from this is it got solved.
Yeah.
You know, the police, because how many of our trans brothers and sisters murders go unsolved?
Stories we don't know.
About 85% plus the ones we don't know.
Yeah. So thank you to the Greater Seattle Police for following up on this. And then what I find disturbing, aside from the entire crime itself, is that we saw the still shot of the suspect looking into the camera, and it's what I didn't see. He didn't look particularly crazed. He didn't look like someone I would cross the street to stay away from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it disturbs me. I don't know what to extrapolate or take from that. That's just my comment.
No, but that's enough. You know, it's sad, but nobody at this table is trans.
No.
We don't know what that experience is like, okay? And you shouldn't or even try to say you do, because we don't, you know?
We don't know what that fear is like. I know for each other, like, we're all friends outside of the studio, and, you know, like, Faye, like, we're at events, like, I always make a conscious effort to walk you to your car, you know, at the end of the night. And it's just something that I do because there's always safety in numbers. But I fear for our trans brothers and sisters, because it's extremely scary, because what if it happened to one of us?
Well, what if it happened to one of our trans siblings, okay? Every time Trump opens his mouth, he says something negative about trans folks, all right? Someone, right, listens. Someone thinks that's fact. Someone believes what he says and believes the rhetoric that he spews.
And they have to take action on it. That's the worst part about it.
And it's getting scary everywhere. You know, when I first hear Seattle, I think, oh wow, how inclusive and how wonderful.
I think of Happy Pop
too. You know, but you know, you just don't think that something like this would happen there. But you know, we're not safe anywhere, and that's really the reality. You know, it doesn't matter how blue the state is. You know what I mean, or where you're living. You know, it could happen to anybody anywhere.
It could happen to anyone anywhere. But like John said, at least this one was solved. Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.